All right, guys, welcome to the live stream this evening. Tonight's going to be a Sturgis 2020 after action report or a recap. In the Army, we use what they call after action reports. You talk about the 5 things that went really well, the 5 things that didn't go so well, and how you can improve on those 5 things. And joining me tonight is our very own veteran biker. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How's everybody doing out in the YouTube sphere?
If you haven't gone to his channel, he posted his first video on our Badlands ride. You got to go watch it. Did a great job with it. It's a great video. My camera, I had a corrupt SD card, so all of my Badlands video is gone. And we're going to talk about some of the things, like I said, we're going to talk about the things that went really well. And I'm going to have Veteran Biker go first. And then we're going to talk about...
I'm going to squeeze through.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to squeeze through.
Are you? Squeeze through what?
Jesus Christ. I open up another window and it automatically, like, the audio starts playing. I'm like, what the hell is this? My God.
Nothing like doing it on live.
No kidding.
And then we're going to talk about the 5 things for each of us that didn't go so well. And then we'll talk a little bit about how we can make our next experience at Sturgis better. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Veteran Biker, and I'm going to put him in solo mode here. And I'm going to let him talk about, I don't want to kick him. There we go. And we're going to let him talk about the 5 things that went really well for his trip.
Well, for me, first and foremost, I'm glad that we met up through the YouTube sphere, following your channel. Stumbled onto that months ago with the stolen valor, and being a veteran, I respect that, and I really appreciate what all the stolen valor means as far as getting that information out there and outing these people. And I'm just glad I had somebody to go meet up in Sturgis with. I don't know. I had 3 or 4 guys that were supposed to go with me or supposed to ride up with, and then they kind of backed out. And then all of a sudden, we ran into them while I was there. So I thought that was weird. But I want to say the 5 things that went probably the best for me, even though it was large crowds, I think everybody was pretty patient. I think everybody was well aware that it was going to be busy. Nobody really got in a hurry, or, I mean, definitely on some of the rides, nobody got in a hurry. As you'll hear in some of my chat whenever I get some other videos going, people doing 25, 30 miles an hour down 50-mile-an-hour roads. That was one of the things, I think, good and bad. I mean, it was safe, yeah, but at the same time, it was pretty annoying. So I think the crowds moved along pretty well. I know probably number 2, I got a hell of a deal on some headers for my pipe or for my bike. And those were installed in about an hour and a half. And I saved probably 25% by buying them there over waiting on them for months here. Number 3, man, the third one. I would say you and we got out and did some excursions on our own and got away from the larger contingent and really got to see what all of the rides and some of the back, the real parts of the rally were. We didn't just go downtown and ride up and down the main drag. It was like, hey, let's meet up in the mornings, grab our gear and go. And sometimes when you're riding with somebody else or traveling with somebody else, it's like, man, I'm going to be waiting around. Somebody's waiting. I mean, it was like bikes were gassed up either whenever we were leaving, going back to the cabin or going back to my Airbnb, and we were ready to rock and roll the next morning, And I think everything was pretty easy to find once I figured out that damn Harley Davidson app on my bike. And the other thing that was a real surprise that was super useful, and I had no clue how it actually worked, were the damn Cena headsets, the Cena communicators. Once you figured out and got those paired up, I think it was like the second morning you got those it was the first morning you got those paired up after we had some breakfast, and the rides, the communication, the travel, I know it just cut down how many times we would have had to stop and regather and sort of like form another plan. I think the Cena headsets, if you're traveling, you gotta spend the money and get those. I think that's probably my 5 real big successes, that just worked out absolutely great.
Yeah, it did. Those are good 5 points. And
the Cena headsets, I got to give it to you. Once you figured out how to make those work, seamless. I mean, it was phenomenal.
It was amazing. It made it so much easier when you can actually communicate to the person you're riding with.
Yep.
It's good. Let me talk
it
about.
Was just so easy.
Oh, it was. Okay, my 5 top things. I guess I'll go solo too. So my number 1 thing was the campground. I chose a campground out of the blue, about 25 miles away from Sturgis, away from all the debauchery and partying that was going on at like the Buffalo Chip or Glencoe or any of the other campgrounds that were right there at Sturgis. It was a great campground. The bathrooms were clean. The showers were clean every day. They had breakfast in the morning. You could actually get a dinner there at night. The amenities were just great. The site, it's out in the middle of the prairie. It's a field with a bunch of electric poles. So it is what it is. That's what there is there. And I think the campground was my number 1 definite good.
Your campground was fantastic.
It was just nice. And everybody around me, everybody was usually out by 10 o'clock at night, and it was pretty quiet. Number 2, hooking up with you over the YouTubeosphere, and getting a ride together and being comfortable riding with you. After the first 20 minutes of riding with you, I knew that we were going to click and there wasn't going to be any issues.
Yeah.
I mean, that was by far probably even better than the campground, because it sucks so bad when somebody says, "Hey, let's go for a ride," and you hook up with them, and after the first 10 minutes, you're like, "Oh my God, this is going to be painful."
This is going to be painful. They got to stop every 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we clicked and gelled right away, and we were able to, get right out there on the road.
And when I caught up with y'all, it was the broke down bike. Your buddy, the Rapid City guy, his bike.
Oh yeah, that's right. My number 3 thing, and I found this out right before I left, was one of the soldiers I served with in Iraq in 2006, 2007, actually lives in Rapid City. And I was staying in a little place called Piedmont, right on the outskirts of Rapid City. He lives in Rapid City. He was only about 5 miles away from my campground where he lives. He's a patrol sergeant on the Rapid City PD. And we got to see that lovely 1967 Belvedere police car that is actually in service at Rapid City.
Yeah, that was cool.
5.7 Hemi in it, automatic, computer terminal, disc brakes all the way around, upgraded suspension, air conditioning, and it is on the road every day. It goes out on patrol. So that was another one of the good points. Another good point was seeing the back of VeteranBiker's motorcycle. Every time he hits the brakes, it puts you into a seizure.
That's a damn strobe kit. That strobe kit's phenomenal.
I ended up and I did a video on it. I did an interview with Mary at Custom Dynamics, and I had a flashing unit installed for my tour pack. And then I had the 2 filler lights down on the bottom installed. And then I went back. It was the day after you left. I was solo that day. I ran back over there and got the LED tube tail light and a second flasher unit. So the back of my bike puts you in seizures now.
Yep.
And
I don't think you'll regret that.
I would agree that my last thing that really went well was, you're right. Everybody was really patient. Everybody was really cognitive of the people around them. Nobody was real. There was nobody rude. There was nobody. I mean, it was just overall a really good experience. I know they said
we ran into any egos. I don't think we ran into anybody that was, chip on their shoulder, ego, pushing in. I didn't. If we did, I maybe just ignored it or didn't notice it.
Didn't pay attention to it.
No. And I think we only saw one
accident.
One accident, and I've got some video of that. That was the guy trying to blow through a light and not paying attention, and I don't even think he was hurt. I think
he just dumped it.
He came to a stop and didn't put his feet down, is what it looked like.
Yeah, exactly. I was like,
I literally think he came to a stop, and he's like, okay, I'm stopped. And then the bike just, and he's like, oh, shit, which is super embarrassing.
And everybody stopped and then went running over and helped them pick it up. But everybody was that's embarrassing.
Uh-huh. Yep.
That is really
everybody went over to try to help them. And then we were like, screw this. Well, let's get around all these people.
And I think a couple of other good points that we could both agree on. We actually met other YouTubers. We met some really nice other good people. Yep.
Speaking of other YouTubers, that the guy when we were on Spearfish Canyon, I think is where we were riding, and we were coming out of Spearfish Canyon, and there was the guy with the little Sportster with the 1 foot wide bars on it, the little drag bars. So he had a GoPro going, and he's going to send me all of his footage that he has of us bombing it out of there.
Oh, awesome. Because I'll tell you, when I decided it was time to turn on the wick, I kept looking in the mirror and he wasn't far behind. He was hanging with me. I wasn't really letting it hang out as much as I could have, but I was letting it hang out there a little bit.
I mean, he was with us for miles from Spearfish
Canyon.
He
was.
Deadwood. And then as we were bombing it out of there, getting around everybody, and he reached out to me because on the back of my Shoei helmet, I've got VeteranBiker and like a decal on the back of my helmet. He reached out to me, subscribed on the YouTube channel. His name's David Choi, and his YouTube channel is David Choi. And he's sending me. I set up the Dropbox, or he's setting up a Dropbox so he can share those videos of us bailing out of that place and getting around all of the stop signs that we were riding behind.
Yeah, and so, I mean, like some of the YouTubers we met, Fingers Yaush, great guy. It was really cool to meet him. Got some great stories. You're going to have a great live feed next week with him. Your interview.
That guy's got he's got a hell of a story to tell.
He does.
No joke.
I've been conversing with him, I don't know, a little over a year, I guess, maybe a year and a half. We kind of connected through YouTube. I watched a lot of his stuff. I had some questions, some work questions for him. I also I sent him some Laconia t-shirts 2020. So, no. Yeah, 2020. I sent him some 2020 Laconia shirts, the COVID shirts. We met Hells on Two Wheels. They were there, and they got married. They got married at Sturgis. That's kind of a good thing that we can agree on.
Yep. That's awesome.
Blacktop Devil. Is that his name?
Yep, Blacktop Devil.
Him and his girlfriend or wife, I'm not sure. I think it's his wife.
It's his wife. Yep.
They were there. Really, really down to earth people. Just a lot of good people to talk to. And the vendors, I mean, as inundated as they were with things, they'd take time to talk to you. They weren't, it was just overall a good experience. So now we're going to roll into the 5 things that didn't quite go well. Well, I'm going to leave the screen as it is.
I think the 5 things maybe not didn't go well, maybe didn't plan for. The first one, and it was actually the day I was leaving, they had all this road blocked off where you couldn't get on 90 East coming out of Rapid City. And I had to take these like back roads about 15, 20 miles down. I couldn't actually get on the on-ramp right there in Rapid City where we would get off at. You couldn't get on the on-ramp going east. I got turned around. It must have taken me 45 minutes to get out of that little town of Rapid City because they had multiple on-ramps closed off. That was, oh my God, it was a debacle. I mean, debacle. That was the like, oh crap, like, am I ever going to get out of here? You know what I mean? And I had to come back for work, and I was just like behind the 8 ball. I was like, oh crap. You know what I mean? That's probably the one thing that stuck out with me as the last, and it's the most recent thing, you know. The other thing, I did not know there were so many trikes. I mean, Harley Davidson sold a hell of a lot of trikes. And I think if you bought one over the last 2 years, it was mandatory. You had to make a mandatory appearance at Sturgis this year. Like, they're like, oh yeah, we'll give you a 10% discount. You take a trike to Sturgis and we'll send you a rebate. You know, go get a picture in Sturgis, send it to us. We'll give you 10% back. I mean, I've never seen that many trikes in my life. Never. The one thing I did notice as well, and I've been to some big rallies, but a lot of the other rallies I've been to, there's not as much riding or rides or excursions, so to speak. This rally, you got to see people's riding skills more, their skills on display more. Some of the other places like Daytona, Thunder Beach, there's just a little drag where everybody rides up and down. Here you see these people out on some main highway, some curvy roads. There's a lot of people that aren't used to curvy, hilly, incline, hill start, hill stop roads, and you'll hear that in some of our chatter on the Cena. That was a big one for me. A lot of people had bikes that were beyond their skill. Would you agree with that?
I would wholeheartedly agree with that.
And there's nothing wrong with buying a bike, but I think if you're going to buy 1,000-pound bike, build up to that or lead up to it or get up to that. You know what I mean? I think that's about it. I didn't see any. I mean, we weren't out bar hopping, so we didn't have to deal with the drunks. By the time we were up and out, I mean, we were up before even the hangovers were starting. You know, we were out and about and hitting some roads, so we didn't deal with the drunks. Every place we went to eat was pretty quick, pretty fast.
Reasonable.
The vendors, like you said, were great. You know, as busy as it was, I expected the vendors to be a little more impatient, but they were more than willing to go above and beyond to accommodate anything that I wanted. You know, I couldn't. Hats off to the vendors. You know, I mean, honestly, they were rock stars. They made everything seamless and smooth. Let's see. Be interested to hear more about your encounter with a herd of bison. Did any animals get spooked when you? Oh, okay. Cogito. If you want to see an up close and personal look at the bison, there is a video that I just uploaded that will get you as up close and personal with a buffalo as
you would want to be.
As close as we wanted to get to the buffalo. And I'll put a link here in the chat. It's as close as I wanted to get, and it took me a while to edit out the language for this video, because you'll see. And it's very early on in this Badlands video, and there's a lot of good footage in here of MSGRetired, because his SD card decided it did not want to play on the Badlands trip. But there's the link in there. Cogito, you'll see what I mean whenever I say we got close and personal to the buffalo. I'll leave it at that. You'll enjoy that. It's a good video. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know if this is my first Sturgis trip, so I had zero expectations, and I tried not to hype it up too much off of other people's past experiences. It was great. I had a good time. I'm going back next year, absolutely, without a doubt. What about you?
Okay, so my things that did not go as well as they could have. So second night, I think we went out riding. We did the Badlands. I get back to my trailer. Now, you guys have seen the videos on my trailer, or at least I hope you have. Brand new air conditioning unit up on the roof, a 13.5. It would turn that trailer into an ice box. And I knew it was going to be hot that day. So I left the air conditioner on low. And when I got back to the trailer, it was a sweat box. And the air conditioner quit. So I had no AC for the rest of the week. And I think that was Tuesday evening, wasn't it? That's when you came to the campground.
Yeah.
Tuesday evening.
Tuesday.
So, yeah. And because smoked a cigar, sat out there and had a cold drink and made plans for the next day. And
was
on top of that,
was that the same night your tent?
Yes, I'm going to bring that up too. Thank you. I know you just kind of, you just, yeah. Oh, by the way, this is the T-shirt that he got me, and those were the nicest boobies in Sturgis.
No,
right here across the front of my T-shirt.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that was a letdown.
So Ben leaves. He goes to his Airbnb. I had put up my 10x10 Easy Up off the back of my trailer. Nice breeze was always blowing toward the back of my trailer. Notice how I say breeze. At 3:30 in the morning, I am awoken by my trailer rocking, almost shaking me out of bed, and I'm hearing all this banging out the back door. So I jump up, throw on a pair of pants, run out there, almost lose the side door. Luckily, I had a good grip on it because the wind was blowing probably 50 miles an hour steady. I walk around the back of the trailer and my canopy looks like a spider because it had wrapped itself around the back of the trailer, and some of the arms were broke and they were sticking up in all these angles. And I probably fought with that for about 30 minutes. Getting it down and off the trailer. Luckily, it did not hit my bike. So I would say that I'm going to lump that in as one of the bad things that happened. And that
wind the second day was crazy.
It was just unbelievable. Yeah. And we still went out and rode.
Oh, yeah.
Technical difficulties. If you have multiple cameras as I do, I have, let's see, I got more around here. I just don't know where they're on my desk. Here's the one for the 8, the 9, the 360. I've got all these cameras. And don't you know, we go to the Badlands. I take one camera and it's right here. When we went by that buffalo, I think I was just a little bit closer than Ben was because we had to go around this big box van and they were dicking around, hanging out the window, taking pictures. Now, this buffalo is standing at this big sign that says, "Welcome to Badlands National Park." And he's over there scratching his ass on the sign. And I'll never forget it because I told him, I says, he's like, we just need to go around. And I'm like, well, go ahead. And if you get mauled, I'll know not to go. And then it's like, go maybe, and off he goes.
Yep.
So now I'm thinking, I got my GoPro running, and I'm thinking this is going to be video of the century. I am deliberately staring at this buffalo with my GoPro as I drive by him, and he's looking right at me. And I drive by, and I'm like, yes. And I get back to the campsite, and I plug the SD card into the computer, and there's 2 files on it. I'm like, what happened? And then I tried to read those, and it said corrupt SD card. Do you want a format? I was completely distraught. Thankfully, Ben saved video. He saved my memories for me, is what he did. He really did. With his video, he saved the Badlands portion of our trip for my memories. So having all these multiple cameras, and like a dope, I should have had my Insta360 up on the front of the bike. You'll see it in some of my videos. That's how I did the bikini car wash. That was a veteran move.
Yep.
The 360 camera, having that second camera up would have saved the day. It really would have saved the day for me, and I would have got that great shot.
Yeah, it's ironic that all of them crapped on you at the same time.
And then, like I said, technical difficulties, brain fart. I stick my 360 up on the pole. Ben looks at it. He's like, "Hey, there's no SD card in it." I'm like, "Are you shitting me?" I just total complete brain lock. I was just such a mess for like 3 days straight, just trying to get all my stuff together. So I've got to really work harder on a backup, having that backup camera just in case, possibly using the GoPro app on my phone to review footage. If it's something as epic as that, I could have stopped a mile down the road and looked to see if I even got anything and maybe gone back. I mean, the Bighorn Rams, I'm staring at them. I got nothing. I mean, that was very disappointing. Traffic on the roads the trips that we did. Now, we get out really early in the mornings. I mean, we'd grab something to eat. We'd hit like whatever. We went to IHOP that one morning. We'd grab something to eat real quick, and we're on the road.
Yeah, we were bailing.
I mean, there's just we didn't dick around. We got out there and we really did it. I think one of the things that's more of a failure on my part, things that didn't go right, was having some type of ride navigation. I finally figured out how to use that Rever site, and I think that's going to be a great one for doing your rides. I didn't have enough experience with the app. I could get it to work. It worked a little bit. It didn't work. That was probably another thing that didn't go as well as it could have. And the traffic. And I think the thing that didn't quite go so well was the traffic coming home. I left on a Friday. I actually left. I was going to leave Saturday morning. And I said, well, if I leave Friday, I'll be home Saturday evening. I'll have a couple of days before I go back to work. And, I'll be all rested up and ready to go. Traffic, try and pick the times that you leave. Don't leave. I left it no, I take that back. What went wrong, and I don't even think I told you this, get all loaded up, get everything packed up in the trailer, everything but the bike. Sleep that night. I get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, fold up the bed, load the bike, get everything all set, double check the campground, jump in the truck, turn the key, click. Oh, yeah.
Oh, damn.
Truck would not start.
Oh, my God.
Click. I was like, and I had just run it the day prior. I was like, what is up with this? Note to self, keep a jump pack in the truck or in the trailer, just in case. You never know. My hindsight's 2020, and we could talk about that with things that we'll do a little bit differently next time. But that was probably the worst, was actually leaving. I had to wait until 6 a.m. when one of the campground monitors, or whatever they call them, he was up, and I saw him, and he's like, well, I can come over and jump you if you want. I said, that'd be great. I'd really like to get on the road. Came over, got me jumped, hit the road. Haven't had a problem with the truck since. I think the truck didn't want to leave. I think it was enjoying it that much that it didn't want to leave.
Yep.
But for next year, definitely, my wife's going to go next year. We're definitely going back next year. One of the things that I spoke with, there was a guy at the S&S tent on my last day there I talked to. He's a local and works for S&S. And he said, I told him, I said, I'd like to come a little bit before the rally or a little bit after the rally. His exact words, come before the rally. Everybody's getting all hyped up. Everybody's going to be on their A game. Everybody's, they're trying to, because they make the most of their money during this period.
Yeah.
These towns, Sturgis has got a population of like 6,800 people. He said, come the week before. If you come the week after, it's B game. The food's going to suck, and all that. And we did get out to Mount Rushmore. I don't know if I don't think I posted a video of that yet.
Rushmore's underwhelming.
Yeah, it's awesome to see it, and I took some pictures of it. It was amazing to see it and think about how they did that way back when they did it.
Yep.
It's really a modern marvel, but yeah. So those are just a couple of things that I think we could do better, and I think we're going to plan on maybe like heading out there the Tuesday prior and maybe staying till and leaving that next Monday.
Artie says it was too hot at the Sturgis rally this year. Artie, 100%. It was hot as hell. It was bacon. It was hot. It was blistering hot.
It was hot in that trailer.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Well, actually, but because we did it the way we did it, we wouldn't go out to eat until it was almost dark, and we'd grab something to eat at like Applebee's or something like that.
Uh-huh.
By the time I got back to the campground, the sun was down. I just opened that back door because I had that nice breeze. 10 minutes, closed the back door, and it was 62 degrees in the trailer.
Yeah.
So, it got really cold out on the prairie at night. So that wasn't quite an issue.
Yeah, I had a good time. Overall, I'd give it probably about an 8 out of 10. South Dakota is it is a chore to drive across South Dakota.
Yes, it is.
And I broke it up. I spent the night before in Omaha, Nebraska, and broke it up. But man, that is just a slog across South Dakota.
How many miles was it one way for you?
About 900, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
so a little bit more than double that is what I had to drive.
Yeah, exactly.
Mine was 1,860 miles.
Yeah.
And it was 28 and a half hours total. So it was a long ride. Yeah, I agree, Artie. Hot or not, we had a great time. I think what I want to do next year also is, since we're going to try and get there a little bit early so we can go out and go to like bear country, and we can go to the reptile thing, and we can go to all the little attractions that are out there. My wife really enjoys that. She enjoys the ride as well, the country, the just the whole thing. But staying long enough for like the first couple of nights to where maybe one evening swing through Buffalo Chip and just take in the aura of the craziness for a couple of hours. Do the Titty Row Drive at Glencoe.
Yeah.
Down Titty Alley. I think that's what they call it, Titty Alley. Make a ride down through there just to experience it and get some content, basically.
I'll say the other thing. If you're going to Sturgis because you think you're going to see a bunch of hot biker chicks.
Here you go. Here she is. She's right there on my t-shirt.
That's the hottest biker chick you're going to see at Sturgis. I'm not joking. And I bought him that t-shirt just so that if he wore it, I'd get to see a hot biker chick. If you're going to Sturgis to see hot biker chicks, you've watched the wrong TV shows or the wrong movies, or you are really mistaken, because it ain't happening.
Yeah, there were very few. Although the girl at the Saddleman booth,
yeah,
she was selling gel seats.
Yeah,
of course she had some gel inserts other places.
Probably the best looking girl at the whole rally. Yeah,
and you're right, Artie. If you go the other way, I couldn't do it. My last day I rode solo, and I wanted to do the rides reverse, and I did Needles, and I was getting ready to go to Iron Mountain Road, and it was closed at 2:00 in the afternoon due to a 2 motorcycle accident. So
I'm glad we didn't see any accidents. I've experienced one recently. I didn't want to really see any. You know what I mean?
The one big accident I saw was that tour bus that flipped over in New York on my way home.
Right.
Traffic was stopped on the eastbound side of 90, and the accident was on the westbound side. I'm trying to figure out why we all backed up and stopped. And as we get up there, I look over and they got all these tents set up, and they got like all these rescue vehicles, and I guess they had the road closed for hours. They had 57 people injured, several of them seriously. So
wow,
yeah, that was like mass casualty right there. That was a big deal.
I trailered my bike up. I used that U-Haul trailer. At first, I was kind of hesitant about using a U-Haul trailer. U-Haul motorcycle trailer, you can't beat it. It was like $12 a day to use that, and easy, super easy. I think eventually I'll probably try to buy a motorcycle trailer similar to what you got, but I just bought a new boat, so it's kind of on the back burner.
Yeah, Artie, we're not saying there weren't any hot biker chicks there. There were, but the ratio was so one-sided. It was ridiculous. It was like, some of those girls, if they had their tops off, it would have been like, please. They look like 2 fried eggs on a nail.
It's like, here's some money for a shirt.
Yeah. I mean, I saw 2 sets of painted ones. One, I think we were in Deadwood, and you could see it. I got it on the video, and you could see it, and it's like, yeah, not all that in a bag of chips. They should have just bought T-shirts instead of paying for the paint. I think they had more wrinkles than a T-shirt would have had.
I mean, we found some good places to eat. All the service was good. The girls there were all nice. That firehouse place, that was nice.
Yep.
The casino or whatever we ate at in Deadwood was good. I had that big buffalo steak.
Yep.
That was phenomenal. Artie, you're absolutely right. Trailer to Sturgis. Otherwise, I wouldn't want to ride after we get there. You are 100% correct.
100%.
When you're as far away as we are, by the time you get there, you're like, dude, I'm dead, 100%. And everybody wants to say, oh, we rode here, you trailered here. I don't care. I live 900 miles away. You live 1,800 miles away. Whenever I get there, I want to actually enjoy getting on my bike. If I get there on my bike after 900 miles, I'm like, I don't want to see you for a couple of days. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Jeremy says hi from PC.
What's PC?
Protective custody in jail.
Oh, okay. Protective custody.
Actually, he's still. Last check was he's still in Osceola County Jail. They haven't moved.
Jennifer in Motel 6.
I'm sorry.
Says Jennifer says hi from Motel 6.
Oh yeah,
Is
Jennifer.
that his other half?
That's his side chick.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Artie, we parked when we got some work done on my bike at the Reinhardt place. We parked in a grocery store parking lot right below those white letters. You could see the white letters of the Sturgis up on the hillside. But yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed it. I'll definitely be going back. If any of you all are around Arkansas or the Midwest, next month, September 22nd to the 26th, is Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, and that's here in Fayetteville. And they're predicting 400,000 bikes for that here this year.
I can't do it this year, but I promise you, brother, I'll come see you next year.
You got a place to stay. You don't even need a trailer. You can just
I'm still trailering it. But we're going up to Americade the 21st through the 24th, which is in upstate New York at Lake George. So I'll have a bunch of footage on that.
Oh yeah, Bikes and Blues. I'm going to put out a couple of videos coming up because they've changed a lot of things for the logistics. I'm going to get on my bike and go around and kind of get some layout and get some ideas for different people that are coming, campgrounds, things of that nature. And if anybody wants to come to Bikes and Blues here, let me know. First iced tea or first Coca-Cola or first adult beverage, depending on what you want, is on me. But it was a good time. Good time. I got my Sheldon's Harley Davidson t-shirt on that you gave me.
Yep. I noticed that.
And that pig trail hat, you were rocking that the whole time.
I did. I rocked that the whole time we were there. That's only because I was hiding that big chunk I took out of the top of my head getting out of the trailer.
BB and BBQ is a good rally. Eureka Springs. Artie, where do you live at? Sounds like you are familiar with this area. I live in Fayetteville, Artie. I'm about 30 miles from Eureka Springs. And Eureka's okay. It's not my favorite place. I know a couple other better places to go hang out. Eureka's kind of hippy dippy. There's a lot of the whole town smells of patchouli. You know what I mean?
Just so you guys know, Ben is the king of talking shit. I have never met. I mean, I love this guy. He can talk more shit, and it's awesome. Like I said, you're going to hear it in our conversation.
Oh yeah,
because we were busting each other's nuts the whole time.
Plano, Texas. Okay. Well, Artie, if you're coming to Bikes and Blues, shoot me an email or a message through my channel, and we'll get together and do some riding. I know some good rides around here.
And I know you've got a dinner date with your.
Yeah, I got to put on a normal shirt. I can't wear a
significant other.
We're going to dinner. No t-shirts in this restaurant.
Oh, geez, you're taking her out to the big time.
You
probably got tablecloths.
They have tablecloths. It's called Mermaids. It's a real good surf and turf restaurant here in Fayetteville. They do it's like a 34-day aged ribeye. That is just fun. That's what I always get. They bring the menu and I already know what I want, you know. And she usually gets they do crab legs and stuff like that, you know, surf and turf.
Here I was thinking you were going for Sheboygan brats with sauerkraut.
Sheboygan brats, you do. Hey, those damn brats were good.
They were. I got a good video of you filling your face there, our little lunchtime chat.
I'll tell you the other thing. As much time as we spent over there, neither one of us, or I don't know if you did, I didn't even go inside of the Black Hills Harley dealer.
No, we never went inside the dealership.
Because I'm thinking, I was like, man, I should have picked up a Black Hills Harley t-shirt, but I never even went in the damn dealer. Like, didn't even step foot inside, you know.
Well, there's too much stuff outside to see with all the vendors.
Yep. Tomorrow I'm going to get up and change oil on my bike after I bought some of that AMS oil. I'm going to change oil on my bike tomorrow, just after as much riding as we did out there. And grinding gears and God knows what else. I'm going to get everything changed over on that tomorrow. And tomorrow there's the American Legion Legacy Ride that's coming through here. They're headed to the American Legion annual meeting in somewhere in Arizona, and they're coming through here tomorrow morning. And I'm going to go up there and meet up with those guys. I think there's about 400 of them, and guys came all the way from where you're at in Massachusetts, North Carolina, and it's like the annual American Legion ride. They're coming through here tomorrow, so I'm going to go. I'm a member of the American Legion, VFW, all those clubs that do good things, and I'm going to go say hello to all those guys coming through here. They're doing like a pancake breakfast to raise money for, paying for their fuel and stuff like that coming across at the local bike shop, which should be good.
Yeah, it sounds like a good time.
It's a good cause. It's a real good cause. Yeah, absolutely. I'll go donate some money to a good cause, Hey,
All right.
have you heard anything? When we were out in Sturgis, you had caught me up on your Jeremy DeWitt stuff, but now that he's kind of locked up, is that kind of just
yeah, he's kind of gone stagnant. He still has a whole bunch of felony charges he has to answer to, mainly dealing with I'm just reading Stovepipe there. Cool. I'm you're not far from me, brother. If you're down in that area, I'm right off of 395, just over the Mass line. He's got a bunch of felonies for impersonation of an officer, as well as I think there was an aggravated assault in there where he was making threatening movements to pull his pepper gun on that off-duty sheriff. He's still got tons of charges. My prediction, by the time it all wraps up, he's going to end up with 8 to 10. It's looking more like it might be 5, but even that, at least he's off the street and he's not endangering anyone any longer. I do have some other stolen valor stuff, and I'm going to do a video on that. But I had 3 of the requests I sent in almost a year ago. They came back. All 3 of them came back with no records found. 2 of them, I managed to verify that they were never in the military. The 3rd one, I just had a feeling it was really bothering me, and I do diligence on all of my investigations, and I'm not going to call somebody out unless I am 100% sure. So I use many different investigative type things, and come to find out, he did serve active duty the years that he claimed, and he was a legitimate special forces soldier. So I am
got to commend him on that. Yep.
Even if he's a douchebag now, regardless.
Yep.
Back in the day when he was serving, he was one of the elite soldiers in the U.S. Army. He had made it through selection, made it through the Q course. He was a weapons sergeant. And I'm going to do a little video on that too. I've got a couple of little videos I'm going to do because we've got a hurricane that's supposed to hit this weekend, Sunday into Monday. If I don't lose power, I'll be able to sit here and yap on my computer and make some videos. Yep. So I got some stolen valor stuff coming too. Ben, I want to thank you for coming on. I know you got.
Hey man, I appreciate it. Really
did a date, and I don't want to hold you any longer.
No problem. I put a little comment there. You guys want to see MSG in the background where he's at in his background there with the Badlands. Check out the video I've just put up on my channel, and there's a lot of cameos in there of MSG and that buffalo footage that he was talking about.
Yeah, it's
pretty epic. I had to delete or edit out a lot of the F-bombs in there because when you're riding by a 2,000-pound buffalo, hey, I was a little worried, but big salute. Y'all take care. Have a good night. I'm going to check out, and y'all have a great evening. I'm going to go stuff my face.
All right, Ben. Thanks. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Enjoy your meal. Okay, guys. So that's going to wrap it up for the live. And like I said, I'll be doing some Stolen Valor stuff here. And I'm still going to keep track of what's going on with Jeremy's trials. It is what it is. Thankfully, he's off the streets right now, and he's where he needs to be. Thanks for tuning in for the live. I know there were a lot of other lives going on tonight. Various topics, various subjects. Stovepipe. Okay, Brooklyn, Connecticut. Yeah, you're not far from me at all. Shoot me an email. I got my email address on my YouTube site. Just go to About. Shoot me an email, man. We'll have to hook up and ride someday. With that, hey, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up. That's great. Hit the bell for notifications so you know when I go live, when I do videos, when I upload media. And thanks for tuning in tonight, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope it was informative, and I hope to bring you some more good content in the future. With that, I'm going to say have a great night.